What's up YouTube, it's GhostRider15 here, back at it again, and this is going to be my first ever current format video on this channel. Yeah, I know a lot of people that watch this channel don't really like or play current format Yu-Gi-Oh, but I do like formats from many different eras, and current format does happen to be one of them. I recently got back into it, and I've been enjoying it. I've been having a lot of fun. And I've been playing my Salamangreat deck that I last played in 2019, and to my surprise, it's still actually a really good deck with the new support that it received. Yeah, and also for all of you guys that watch this channel for just strictly retro content, don't worry, I'm still going to be doing retro format content. I'm still going to be doing GOAT format, Edison format, Hat format, Tengu format, all of those really nice old formats from the past. So yeah, with that being said, let's just jump right into this deck profile. First off, I'm playing 3 Speedroid Terratop because Terratop is a 1-card starter. It came off the ban list, and this card lets you play through Nibiru. It lets you do so much in this deck. It lets you set up for your Rage, your Roars, for all of that good stuff. Charge as well. So yeah, I do like this card at 3. Next up is the 3 Lady Debug. Debug is really nice because it's also a 1-card starter. It's not a fire monster, so that can be a small issue, and it's also not a Salamangreat card, so yeah, but besides that, it's very strong. And now the other 1-card starter, Salamangreat of Fire. So this card is insane. Like, the only downside is that it locks you into fire monsters for the rest of the turn, but usually that's not going to be a problem. 3 Gazelle, the heart and soul of the deck. When this card first came back to 3, I immediately wanted to play this deck again because of all the times I had so much fun with it in 2019. And yeah, it's the best Salamangreat monster. It lets you extend your plays. It's a starter card. It's just great overall. And now for the extenders, I have 1 Jack Jaguar, 1 Spinny, 1 Weasel, 1 Mirror, 1 Meow Mine, 1 Code of Soul, and 1 Speedroid Takatomborg. So they all have different purposes, but they're all extenders. So Jack Jaguar is really nice to recycle back your Salamangreat cards. Spinny is basically a free body on the field when you have a Salamangreat monster on your field. Weasel is the newest edition, the newest Salamangreat edition. It's really great. It lets you draw a card when you special summon a Salamangreat Link, Fusion, or Exceed monster to your field, and it also combos really well with Promethean Princess, so it's amazing. Salamangreat Mirror, the only reason I'm playing Mirror right now is because Ghost Ogre is very popular in the meta, and if they do happen to hit your Lady Debug with Ghost Ogre, you can just search Mirror and keep going from there. And I also play EMP Meow Mine because Meow Mine can be very strong in this deck. It doesn't require you to have a link on the field. As long as you have one in the graveyard, you can still special summon it. And its graveyard effect to bounce back a card is also really nice, so it's great in this deck. And then the newest addition of extenders is Code of Soul. This card is insane in this deck because not only is it an extender, it also lets you link summon using 1 Salamangreat monster as the full material if it's a monster with the same name. So it's basically the field spell. And the best effect that it has is that during your opponent's main phase, you can banish it from your graveyard to link summon a monster, a level 3 or higher Cybers monster. So you can basically bring out links during your opponent's turn. And then the last one is Speedroid Takatomborg. He's not a great card to draw, but when you search him off of Terratop, it's amazing. And now for the hand traps. 3 Ash, the best hand trap in the format. It's very generic. You have to play 3 and you can recycle it back with Sunlight Wolf. 3 Veilers and 3 Imperms for the hand traps that negate effects. Along with 2 Ogres because I think Ogre's very strong in this format. I don't want to play 3 because it is a hard once per turn. The only hard once per turn hand trap that I'm playing is Ash just because it's so generic and so good. And then next up, 2 Joel and Lockbirds. This can probably be something else because Joel isn't that good against certain decks, but I just like having Joels, but they can come out for something else. Along with the 2 Nibiru's. This is also very like meta dependent. Like if your locals has a lot of Snake Eyes players, then Nibiru is very strong. So yeah, that's it for the hand traps. We're moving on to the spells. 3 Circle, this is basically your reinforcement of the army. Your Rhoda, your 1-card starter. It searches for any Salamangreat monster you need. Amazing card, and it also has another cool effect that prevents your Salamangreat Link monsters from being affected by your opponent's monster effects. Next up is 3 Signet Mining. This card's also really nice because it's another 1-card starter card. Well, technically 2-card starters because this one you do have to discard a card, which is a downside sometimes. But sometimes it's not a downside if you have like Spinny or Jack Jaguar in your hand. But other than that, it's not as good as like Salamangreat Circle, so I might bump this down to 2 because just drawing multiples of these is kind of bad, so I don't know, we'll see. And then for the spell extenders, this Will of Salamangreat Charge. This one is from 2019, so it's been around forever. This is the newest edition of extenders. Not only is it an extender, but it also is a pop. You can pop a card on the field. So I really like it. And it also recycles your fire monsters. So it's like a mini Pot of Avarice as well. Yeah, these cards are insane. Like Will of Salamangreat is the soul charge for Salamangreat cards or monsters. And yeah, I think you have to play both. And then the last spell is Salamangreat Sanctuary. Unfortunately, this card is a brick if you draw it, but if you don't, you can easily search it out of your deck with literally any monster that you have besides like your hand traps. And then the only like actual trap that we play in the entire deck is Salamangreat Roar. The counter trap, this is basically an Omni Negate, negates spells, traps, or effect monsters. Very good card overall. Can easily be searched, so you only play 1. And for the extra deck, I am playing 2 Balinks. I only play 2. Some people play, well, most people play 3. But I don't think you need 3. Like from my testing and from my experiences, I think you can get away with 2 and be fine. If you really need the 3rd one, you can always recycle it back with Salamangreat Charge anyway. So yeah, I don't really miss the 3rd copy. Like there's only been a few situations where I felt like I really needed it. So I think 2 is great. Alright, so next up we have 2 Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Back in the day we played 3. Nowadays you don't really need 3. You can get away with 2 easily because it's not as relevant anymore. Like it's still a great card, don't get me wrong, but it's not like the main part of the deck that you need to do every turn to win. But it's still great. You do play the 2 copies. Alright, so next up is Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix, or Raging Phoenix, excuse me. Spoiler alert, I do play Pyro as well, but first we're going to talk about Raging Phoenix, the newest edition of Salamangreat Links. This is the Link 4, and it searches for any Salamangreat card, so it's a Rhoda on summon. And also, it has a really cool effect when one of your fire monsters are destroyed by battle or card effect. You can special summon Raging from your graveyard, and it gains attack equal to the monster that was destroyed. So very good card. It combos really well with Weasel and Promethean Princess. Next up, another link for that we play is 2 Pyro Phoenix. So Pyro Phoenix was around since 2019, and back in the day it wasn't a good card because there wasn't any way for you to make this card during your opponent's turn, and the effect to blow up your opponent's field was actually kind of mid because, like I said, you were only able to do it during your opponent's turn. But nowadays, with the release of Code of Soul, you can actually do the effect on the opponent's turn and blow up their entire board during their turn, which is actually really nice. And a lot of people don't know that Pyro Phoenix has a burn effect to burn your opponent, which can be actually very relevant in situations where you're running out of time. So yeah, great card overall. And then the last Salamangreat card in the extra deck is Stalio. Good old Stalio. You only need one because you can recycle it. If you need it again, just bounce any card when it's used as link material, and special summon the Salamangreat in defense from your deck. So on to the extenders. I do play Splash Mage and I play Hida. So I know that Splash Mage kind of contradicts in this deck because it does lock you into Cybers only, so you can't go into Promethean Princess. But there are going to be situations when your opponent hand traps you like crazy. They throw like 2 to 3 hand traps at you, and this is like the only way to actually keep extending. And once you summon a monster from the graveyard with Splash Mage, you can link climb into Heat Soul, and Heat Soul will draw you a card on your turn and then on your opponent's turn, which can get you hand traps to actually be able to play the game. And Hida is basically when you get hit by Ash. If you get hit by Ash, you can still link climb into Promethean Princess this way. So both of them are really nice extenders depending on what hand traps your opponent throws at you. And then the Promethean Princess, because Promethean is the reason, or one probably the biggest reason, that this card is actually, or this deck is actually relevant again. So this card is amazing because not only is it an extender, it also destroys a card on your opponent's turn during their turn when they special summon a monster. So it's just perfect for this deck because it helps you play through Nibiru, it helps you link climb, it helps you have monster interruptions during your opponent's turn, which is something that Salamangreat really struggled with. They didn't have any monster interruptions during the opponent's turn before the release of this card, but nowadays you can actually do those things with this card. So this card is amazing in this deck. One Heat Soul. So not many people play Heat Soul. I still like the Heat Soul in this deck because there are times when your opponent will hand trap you to death, like I said, and they're not gonna let you fully play the game. But as long as you have like Splash Mage, you can link climb into this, and you know, just draw cards for 1,000 life points, which is not a big deal because life points aren't an issue in current format for the most part. Also, you can make this when you start off with Lady Debug and Speedroid Terratop, because you just special the Terratop and then go into this. So yeah, really nice. And then I do play Sprite Sprint. Not that many people play Sprite Sprint, but the logic for Sprite Sprint is that it does send EMP Meow Mine to the graveyard, and it's very easy to make in this deck because you have cards like Salamangreat of Fire. You can even use Sunlight Wolf because it's a link 2, and it's a fire monster, so even if you get fire locked, it doesn't matter, you can still bring it out. And then the last card in this deck is Horse Prince, because Horse Prince lets you bring out cards like Code of Soul, it can bring out Gazelle, it can bring out Ash Blossom, and basically now you have more interruptions for your opponent with this card. And it also lets you extend even further because it brings out a body on the board. It's a fire monster, so it doesn't matter if you're locked into fires. great card overall for this deck. And now for the side deck, I am playing 3 ghost spells for like Labyrinth, for Voice's Voice, because those matchups are really tough sometimes, and there's a lot of them at my locals, so I do like this. And I also like the Bestial package, the Druid Worms, and the Magnamut, because like I said, there's a lot of Labyrinth, there's a lot of Voice's Voice at my locals, and these cards are great for that. And then 2 Phantasme for link decks like the Mirror Match or Snake Eyes, which is the most common deck in the format. It helps you just draw into your hand traps, it protects you from targeting effects, so this card's great overall. And then next up, I have one of each of these hand traps depending on the matchup, because most of these hand traps are good in only certain decks, so I put them in based on the matchup. Like for example, Joel Lockbird is really good against like Kashtira or Fluwanderies, and then Ogre's really good against Centurion, and then Nibiru is really good against like the Mirror Match or Snake Eyes. So just depending on the matchup, you just put those hand traps. And then the last cards in the side are the back row removals, the Harpy's Feather Duster, and the 3 Cosmic Cyclones. You have to respect the stun decks. You have to respect Runic Stun, Fluwanderies, because if you don't, those decks will just destroy you. So yeah, you have to be prepared. I have these. I was thinking of playing like Lightning Storm, but I just felt like these were better, and I don't have that much space in the side deck. So yeah, I just went with these. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the deck list that I used to get first place at my locals. I played Salamangreat. I've been having so much fun playing this deck because I really enjoyed playing this deck in 2019, and it's still very fun to play in 2024. So if anyone wants to play current format, I recommend giving Salamangreat a try. It's a really nice deck. I would say right now it's like top 10 for sure, because it's been doing very well lately. And that's pretty much it. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. This is Ghostwriter15 signing out.